Hi, Wonderwall. It's Heather with Motherhood in Hollywood. Let me actually pull my microphone over. Hi, guys. What's up? I am jumping on here really quick because we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on this week, and I want to hear from you guys. We're going to talk about Valerian. We are going to talk about Comic-Con that's happening right now in San Diego, which if you're living under a rock, you probably heard something about that's going on. And let you guys know, I also had a chance recently to interview the cast, a couple of the cast members of Valerian, and director Luc Besson. I don't know if you guys are planning to go and see Valerian. If so, let me know. Also, if you're jumping in here, let me know where you're from and what you guys are doing later. What are you wearing? No, whatever you want to share. It's fine. Hi. So, I have to remind myself sometimes whenever we first go live that I have to strike like some kind of pose, because invariably Facebook will screen capture something really awkward that I'm doing, and that's what it will use as like the still image for this video from now on. So something to work on. All right, guys, let's talk about Valerian. Valerian stars Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan. And it was directed by Luc Besson, who, if that name sounds familiar to you, if you're a big sci-fi movie buff, you'll know right away who Luc Besson is. He directed La Femme Nikita, The Fifth Element, a lot of very renowned and very monumental. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Wesley. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me if you're going to see Valerian, if you are excited all to go see Valerian, a city of 1,000 planets. That's what is the official title. So Luc Besson, very renowned director. He also directed one of my husband's favorite films, which is The Professional. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was Natalie Portman's first movie. And he sort of discovered her and directed her in that film. And it was such a great movie. If you guys remember The Professional, it was such a great movie. So same director that did The Professional, La Femme Nikita, and The Fifth Element, directed Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Okay, I have some notes here. I'm prepared this time. You guys will be so proud of me. I'm prepared. So this is what Valerian is. Valerian is based on a series of comic books from the late 1960s. And when I had the chance to interview Mr. Besson, he was telling me that he was a fan of those comic books growing up. And he's always sort of had it in the back of his mind, kind of germinating a little bit, that he wanted to make a movie based on these comic books. And he says that for the last 10 years, he's been working on this film. That's a long time, even by Hollywood standards. Like, some movies take a while to make because, you know, budgeting, finding the right actor, finding the right director, all of that stuff. Is this glitchy? Or is there something like Max Headroomy happening with my face here? Whoa. Anyway, so it took him 10 years to do this. And what I wanted to know, I wanted to talk to him about the visual effects, because the special effects in this movie, you guys, is so, they're so amazing. He has created this whole other, like, it takes place in like the 28th century, so like 700 years from now. Is that right? Did I do my math? Did I do my math right? What year are we in? 800 years from now? Yeah. So anyway, it takes place like way in the future, and he's created this world, Alpha, and the detail in this world that he's created is incredible. It's layers upon layers of cities and roadways, and you know, it's like it's a floating city in space. So I should say that right away. It's not really a planet. It's kind of like a floating city in space, and they explain that in the beginning of the movie. I'm not going to give too much away because I know it opens up later tonight. I think there's some midnight showings, and then it opens everywhere tomorrow. But he told me that he worked for years. He almost did like a contest where he picked graphic designers and production designers that were students to work with on this movie. And he spent years sort of mentoring them and working with them. He told them, give me the craziest alien you could think of, design it and send in some artwork for it. And he picked people based on their entries. And that's how he chose who to work with for this film. So if you can imagine, there's nothing in here like you've ever seen before. It's truly one of the most imaginative movies I've ever seen. And I wrote this on my website, motherhoodinhollywood.com, that I kept saying, wow, that's incredible. Like, it just visually is so beautiful and so thoughtful. And you could tell he really took a lot of time with that movie. I also, just for fun, because I had kind of put this out for followers of Motherhood in Hollywood, if anybody had any questions for him. And one of the questions was, do you wish that you were directing Star Wars, this next Star Wars movie? Oh, someone's texting me. It's my husband. My husband's texting me. Honey, I'm live on the Facebook. I asked him if he would ever want to direct Star Wars, if he wishes he was directing the next Star Wars. And he said that he feels like if they had approached him like 10 years ago to do it, that he totally would have. But for now, the moment has passed, and he's happy to let them all do their thing. And he really set out to make this a different kind of movie than the Marvel movies and the DC movies. He doesn't have that kind of, it wasn't that kind of a big budget film, although it certainly wasn't a low budget film by any means. But he definitely wanted to make it separate from the big sci-fi comic book movies that are out there right now. And if you guys go see it, I think that you'll see Robin says it looks great, can't wait. Wesley says, yeah, I would love to see this. When you go see it, you'll see that it's sci-fi. It's well done sci-fi, but it looks nothing, has no feel at all like the Marvel or DC movies that are dominating the sci-fi scene right now. So keep that in mind as well. I also interviewed Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan, who could not have been nicer, you guys. They were so lovely, so charming and funny. They have a great rapport on screen, and then they also had a great rapport in person. You could tell that they were good friends. And this was so cool. Dane DeHaan just had a baby a few months ago, so he's a new dad, and he talked about how he's just like overwhelmed with love, with this love that he didn't know was possible for another human being. It was really sweet to hear him talk about becoming a father and getting to like promote this movie and do it. It's like, do what you love and also have a baby at home. It's just lovely. He's in a happy place. I'm going to say that. He's in a happy spot. And then Cara Delevingne talked about the extensive physical training they had to go through because there's lots of action. It's an action-adventure love story is kind of how I described it. And they definitely had some action scenes. There's a lot of running, a lot of fighting. We got to talk about the Rihanna scene because I didn't know that, I guess I didn't pay attention, but I didn't know Rihanna was in it. And I felt like she didn't really need to be. Like, I might take some heat for it, but I kind of felt like her part wasn't really necessary. It was just like, where can we put Rihanna in a movie? Let's have her play Bubbles, the singing, dancing, sexy lady, which is essentially what it is. That really didn't affect the plot or the story that much at all. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it did. You guys watch for yourselves, and you tell me what you think about Bubbles. I would have liked to see more of her, I think is my point, more of her adding to the plot. So go and see Valerian. Go into it knowing that it's an action-adventure love story. And it's, excuse me, it's some younger cast. So they're not like, that was one thing I had a hard time processing a little bit. The cast is really young to play these seasoned military, badass flying jets and, beating each other up and like taking on the bad man and all that stuff. They just seem really young to be able to do that. But if you embrace the willing suspension of disbelief, like we do with most movies, especially with sci-fi, then you just sort of buy into the character and the scene. Hold on. Pardon me for 1 minute. Warm water. Lukewarm water, guys. Never tasted so refreshing. So yeah, keep that in mind going into it, but really just embrace it for the visual effects because that is worth the price of admission and popcorn with extra butter. All right, let's move on, you guys. I'm so excited because this weekend is Comic-Con. In fact, the minute I get off of this Wonderwall chat, I'm going to go and throw my underwear in a bag and maybe some shirts. And I'm going to Comic-Con. What? And look out, nerds. I'm coming for you. It's going to be so much fun. I've got some cool interviews lined up that I'm going to be putting on Motherhood in Hollywood and on Wonderwall. I cannot wait to show you the panels we're going to go to, the people we're going to meet. Comic-Con this year is, it's just getting so big. I think I read somewhere that like 160,000 people go to the Gaslamp District in San Diego. Have you guys ever been to Comic-Con? Do you ever want to go to Comic-Con? It's a massive event. And I am excited because there's quite a few panels that I want to see. I'm going to try to get into. I may not be able to because I may be at the bar. Let's be real. Because mommy and daddy are also taking this as an opportunity to leave the little one at home and do a little little weekend away with the fellow nerds. Carla says maybe it's like the first Israeli military where they go in 18. That's true. I thought that. I honestly had that thought where I was like, yeah, well, maybe because it's this futuristic society, maybe they start younger in the military. Whatever. I believed it. I believed them as these characters. I had to pause for a moment because I was like, they seem awfully young. But I bought it. I bought it. Is this your first Comic-Con? No, it's not. This is my third or fourth Comic-Con. And I think I'm still trying to figure it out and get the hang of it. There are some serious pros that go and they wait in line for Hall H for hours, days to get in to see their favorite stars and to see the panel, stuff like that. I don't do that. Mama ain't got time for that. I would rather just watch what everybody else sees online from the panels that they were in. And then go to some of the smaller panels where you can actually see the person at the front. Maybe you can actually get a question in. I like to go to the smaller, slightly smaller ones and try to get into those. I know for sure I'm going to go see the Sharknado panel. What? My friend Ian Ziering is going to be in that one, of course, because he's in Sharknado 5 Global Swarming. What, you guys? It's going to be amazing. So I'm excited to go and see that panel. Also, another panel to look out for is the Westworld panel. It's going to be epic. Netflix's Stranger Things is a big one. The Marvels, the Defenders, everybody is super pumped for the Defenders. And then you've got Seth MacFarlane has 2 panels he's doing. He's doing the Family Guy, American Dad panel. But the one I want to go to is the Orville panel because I actually was on an episode of the Orville shot a couple months ago. So I'm excited to go as a fan of the show, knowing what actually happens behind the scenes and that I've actually been on the show to support and go, yay, I'm excited for this show. Hope they bring me back. Hint, hint, hint. And then, of course, Star Trek Discovery. I mean, that's going to be in Ballroom 20. It's going to be packed. There's going to be so many people there because there's a lot of Star Trek fans who are really excited for the show, but have kind of been feeling, I think, a little nervous with all the changes and all the stuff happening behind the scenes. So I hope everything works out okay with Star Trek Discovery. I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but just please don't mess up my franchise. That's one of my favorite sci-fi franchises is Star Trek. I was a total Trek nerd growing up, so I really, really hope that it's good. You know what I mean? I've heard a lot of buzz about the Twin Peaks panel. The Game of Thrones panel, of course, is going to be great. The Gifted. Are you guys excited for The Gifted? And there's also going to be great stuff with Mr. Robot and all that. So I've put a lot of information up about panels that people want to check out and don't want to miss up on motherhoodinhollywood.com. I also put a list up of family-friendly activities because there's a lot of families now that go to Comic-Con. It's not just the nerds living in their mama's basement anymore. It's like actual families and fans who go, and this is their big weekend trip. So I thought it would be fun to put up a list of things that families can do together, that the kids would enjoy and the parents would enjoy too, because that's something that's really important to me. It's important to me, so I'm going to make it important to you. Carla says, I was going to ask what you're most looking forward to, but you're going childless, so there's the answer. Glug, 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 glug. That's what we're looking forward to, Carla. There will be some drinks aplenty. I'm going to be doing some Facebook Lives on Wonderwall tomorrow, as well as motherhoodinhollywood.com. I'm going to try to get a couple of interviews for you guys, so be on the lookout for that. So excited for this weekend. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll be doing some drunk Insta stories. There's no doubt about that. And I'm going to be doing some Facebook Living from the Motherhood in Hollywood Facebook page as well. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I hope you go see Valerian. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, I love talking to the cast and to the director. You could tell he was really put his whole heart and soul into this. And I think it shows. So have a great weekend, you guys. And I'll see you on a Facebook Live coming soon to a Facebook, Wonderwall Facebook near you. Bye. Have a good weekend.